Zone.
Well, look at there. You made it to Tuesday. Congrats.
AKA Friday.
Yes, more on that later. We'll explain that later, why Tuesday feels like Friday around here. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. Yeah, JB's letting it out of the bag there. JB.
Brooks already did.
Oh, did he really? He told everybody?
Yeah.
Well,
matter of fact, it's a conspiracy. We're trying to get Jake to back out of his show tomorrow as well now.
Well,
give
look,
Vive some time of leisure.
Well, here's the thing about it. You guys deserve it. Everybody deserves it. It is a holiday. And okay, like we had Halloween, we had Labor Day, these different things. But in this COVID year, this 2020, Thanksgiving feels like the first real one where we just got to step away. And so we're going to do that. Today's the last day of the week for this show, but we're just starting and we got 3 hours to go. And we can get a whole week's worth of stuff in here over the next 3 hours, including, JB, a special treat to start the show today.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, right at the top, the lovely homecoming queen is here to talk about the Egg Bowl.
Hey, JB.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, the homecoming queen, as no other could have ever been.
That's great.
I don't know what to think about it. Honestly.
I thought it was fun.
Well, here you are to start the show, JB.
The Egg Bowl, huh?
She wants to talk about the Egg Bowl, so go ahead and formulate your questions. For anyone listening, y'all can submit them by writing on the
by writing.
On the Country Pleasing text line 885-3776. If you're watching the live stream, feel free to comment on the live stream right there. And if you've got a question for the homecoming queen, let it rip. She's a Rebel fan. And all right, let's start here. Annabeth, it seems like a year coming into the Egg Bowl this year where Ole Miss fans are confident.
I think so. I feel pretty confident, but I felt like State played so well this past weekend, so I feel like State fans have a reason to be confident too.
Listen, that game against Georgia, and they lost it.
They should have won. They played harder.
Okay, well, some people have said that.
Don't you think?
But let's just, instead of going what should have happened, let's just look at what did happen. They lost, but they played well.
They played well.
And that one game has all kinds of people feeling different about the Egg Bowl.
Right. Well, I feel like I'm happy for Ole Miss to do really well, but I feel like it's a pretty even matchup, don't you?
I think...
I don't think anybody's greater than the other.
Yeah, that's right. I still feel like Ole Miss should have an advantage. I don't think playing at home or away this year makes a big difference. I mean, it's in Oxford, but you do have a lot of freshmen you're depending on, and so it'll be their first Egg Bowl, and it happens to be on the road for State. But it's not like you're walking into a full stadium.
It's just a different situation this year. You and I were talking about that earlier. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel the same as the Egg Bowl week usually does.
Right.
It's just different.
That's right.
With the virus and
the limited capacity, the weird seasons, like even coming into the beginning of the week and a lot of people not really sure if we were going to have the Egg Bowl this week or not.
Right.
So plans are different, all that kind of stuff. Thank goodness we all don't live in California because we can all gather together for our family Thanksgivings on Saturday and watch the game at our own homes in the privacy of our own homes without anyone telling us where and when and how to go to the bathroom and how many.
It's a little bit.
The stuff in California is ridiculous.
I know, but we are all still going to be careful. We don't want to just tell people to throw caution to the wind.
Yeah, wear a mask.
Yeah.
Put one on.
Go outside.
Don't sneeze on people. Don't lick people. Cut all that out. Okay, when we get through this COVID stuff, you can lick everybody you want to lick.
Yeah.
Just not right now.
While y'all are talking about licking, I'm working on a song here.
Oh.
And it just came to me.
A song?
Yeah.
About licking?
No. It goes like this. She's a Rebel fan married to a Bulldog man. They get together in a time they can, except when MSU wins, then Matt is banned.
I love
it's never really gotten to that point.
And it really hasn't.
Part of it is because I've never pulled a bunch of stunts. You haven't either.
I haven't really. I did put that tattoo on your face that year.
Yeah, that's right. Ole Miss won. I fell asleep. I woke up with a.
Was that with your fist?
It was
Ole Miss
it was a little,
sticker.
those little Ole Miss stickers they give out at the games. Well, I kept one, and while Matt was asleep, I put it on his cheek, and when he woke up, he found it. But
Yeah,
That's the equal of putting someone's hand in warm water.
Yeah.
Right?
We're good sports about
It's
it.
kinda like that.
I don't like the whole house divided. I just say we have best of both.
Well, and
I don't like
let's be honest.
And we're not divided. So.
Well, we're not. What's the right way to say this? We have a life and relationship and home life and everything where, frankly, the games are really not the most important thing going on around here.
No, they're fun accessories, but they're not. Yeah.
Possibly good distractions.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Hey, I thought you'd find this interesting. I'm going to play a clip for you right now. This is Matt Corral, quarterback Ole Miss. He talked with the media yesterday, and the question was kind of about the Egg Bowl, like the rivalry. They always get those questions every year when they play this game. And it's a real short answer, but he said something in there. I think this is the right clip. We're going to see, but he said something in there that I found interesting.
Just the long tradition behind it. Nothing's really personal at all. It's just another game. Of course, the next game is the most important game. So we're gonna attempt to get ready like so.
It's not really a personal thing. It's just another game.
All right.
All right, that's Matt Corral, quarterback Ole Miss. Here is Elijah Moore, probably the best player on Ole Miss's whole team.
Okay.
The receiver.
Right.
I'm gonna be real. To me, it's just another game. I don't really get too high. I don't get too low. But in this school, its history is, it's the biggest game. If anybody wants you to win that any game of the season, it has to be this one. But I really just look at it as it's just any other game. The way you attack every game, or the way you attack something, is how you attack everything. So I try to attack every game full speed, most energy and everything. But of course, being in, at Ole Miss and in, our locker room and in our meetings, they're gonna hype it up because it's the tradition. So I'm gonna play hard for my teammates and play hard for my coaches.
How about that?
Wow.
Well,
what do you think about that?
He may not be too high or too low, but one thing's for sure. He knows how to hike his leg.
He did it last year.
Yep. I hope they don't do that this year.
No, it won't happen again.
I like the fact that they both talked about the tradition. You and I have talked about traditions and how I love a tradition, whether it's a holiday or whether it's a game day. I think that the respect for the tradition is there from both of them. But you're a ball player, so you understand that they're looking at this as just the next game. So maybe it's a fan thing as far as the hype. But the players, I'm sure the players, they know it's an important game. It's a different game because it's the in-state rivalry.
Yeah.
But maybe you answered that better than I do.
Well,
you have to focus as just the next game as a player.
I thought their answers
right
were exactly the way I always felt about it playing in it.
I felt like you would say that.
Yes, it's important. You don't know, they're not downplaying the fact that the game is more important to our school and our fan base, frankly.
Right.
And we get that. It's really kind of the way it should be. But for me, it's another game. Okay, I don't know where Elijah Moore played high school football. Where's he? JB, do you know off the top of your head where he's from originally?
I don't.
I don't either. I could look it up. But I know Matt Corral is not from Mississippi.
He's from California.
Right.
He's from California. See, and somebody texted and said they are not SIP boys either.
Yeah.
Neither one. So I think Elijah Moore maybe is an out-of-state guy also.
And the one speaking right now is out of state.
Well,
I
let me ask
grew
you
up in
this.
Alabama, played high school in
Wyatt,
Alabama.
But you're a Mississippi boy now.
Okay, but it didn't take long at all. I mean, like the first week on campus, you understand.
You bought in. Yeah.
Well, you have to. You're on the team. You understand, okay, they're already – my classmates, my professors, people in town, teammates from Mississippi.
Right.
They're already talking about the Egg Bowl.
Right.
Okay, I think it's the same for these guys, too. You heard what Elijah Moore said. Look, you understand, for this school, it's a big deal. They're making a big deal of it.
They get it.
Stephen on the Facebook live stream says that Moore is from Georgia. But I think as players, Now, I do think it is different for players who are from Mississippi a little bit.
Yeah. Who maybe grew up around it.
But everybody's approach in the locker room is just what Elijah Moore said. Every game you're trying to hit at 100 miles an hour, and with the approach that this is the most important game we've ever played, and it's a 1-week season. We're trying to do that every week. So if I'm true to that mindset, I do the same with this game.
But how is it different this year because it's not the last game?
That was my next thing. Was it's different because usually we're wrapping up the football season and there's so much. I don't know.
There's nothing
hype.
else to play for.
Yeah, there's nothing else. But this year, it's different because there's games that follow it. There's, you know.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's
so
right.
You are smarter than the average home point.
I was about to say that before you said it. Great minds think alike.
Thank you.
Okay, Moore is not from Florida. He's from Georgia. I mean, Florida. He is from Florida. I got it mixed up. Okay, not Georgia. He's from Florida. Okay. Look, it's.
I think it's different. It's different because it's not the last game. It's this crazy 2020 virus, all this stuff going on. It's just different. But for those guys, they have to look at it. And I guess all these games have been different for them.
Yeah.
That it's probably been hard for all of them to prepare for each game. So, you know, hey, maybe it'll end in a tie for 2020.
Thank goodness they did away with that, where you couldn't do that anymore. I'm glad they got rid of the ties in college football because they make they made it harder to decipher the overall records when you look at the Winsipedia.com comparisons.
Well, there you go.
Because Winsipedia.com.
Did you do a preview? Did you decide who you think's going to win?
I have not picked the game yet. We're going to have to do it today.
Well, yeah, you need to.
But here's what I did say about it yesterday, and I'm not coming off. This is kind of how I feel about it, and I'm not sure I felt this way even coming home after the Georgia game. You know, you're looking ahead of the next one and all, and initially and on the surface, and I think these things hold some water. Ole Miss came into the year with 75 returning lettermen. What that means is 75 players out of 85 on scholarship who had played football for you before, right? Well, I say 75. There's some in there that are extra upperclassmen and also 75 out of the total. That was the most in the SEC who had actually played football for you. So pretty experienced bunch coming back to take on this coaching change.
All right.
Defensively, they just don't have the horses, but offensively they do, and they've been good. And it's also a bunch of lettermen who've played a lot of football and a lot of snaps a lot of them haven't even experienced beating State. State's won 2 in a row, 18 and 19. We're looking at how rare it is for a team in the rivalry to win 3 in a row. It almost never happens. Since the games moved to campus in 1991, it's only happened once at Ole Miss and once at State. Once with Eli, 02-3-4. For Ole Miss, they won 3 in a row. And then once for State when they hired Dan Mullen, 09-10-11. Both those stretches, the opponent was way down. Is the only way you had a 3-game winning streak for either school. State's trying to have a 3-game winning streak. It's going to be hard to do that. Ole Miss more experience. You're going to play up there. They've had less COVID issues. They've had less opt-outs. They have more depth. They have a better, more consistent offense. State has a better, more consistent defense. So I think Ole Miss should have an advantage in the game. The thing is, though, you look at it, there's this little bit of an increase in State's offense. They look like they finally got it together and figured things out, how to go score, and did it on the road at Georgia. So you know they're confident. And at the same time, you know Ole Miss's defense ain't nowhere near what Georgia's defense is.
Right.
So I look at it and go, I think this is a closer, more competitive game than some people give it credit. I think it's a toss-up. I don't see it as one where, even though there's some obvious advantages for Ole Miss, where State's just up against it and they're 2-touchdown underdogs. I think State has every bit of chance to go in there and win it as Ole Miss does. And it's going to come down to like one player is going to step up and have this great game. That's usually what happens in Egg Bowls. You know, one player will step up. Or there will be one crucial mistake like last year's game. Now, I think that's kind of what we're looking at again.
We were with you last year at the game, weren't we?
Yeah, I think you were.
I
You were
feel
down
like
in
your
the M
team,
Club.
the team was, didn't y'all get recognized? Was that not?
Oh, that was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all's.
Yeah, that's right. It was 99. They had they recognized the 99 team.
Yeah, all the players.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun because Mary Liddy got to walk out on the field with me.
And then my sister, who's married to Rob Morgan,
was
they
there.
were all there, so that was a fun That was a fun night.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that.
You know, I do hate that Leach and Kiffin's first experience at an Egg Bowl is one that's not a normal Egg Bowl atmosphere, you know, because that is fun.
Here's what those coaches said. Okay. This is Kiffin kind of opening up, talking about Mississippi State.
All right, so Mississippi State prep. These guys played really good the other night, as you saw. Had a chance to beat Georgia, and probably would have if Georgia wouldn't have had the new quarterback. So these guys have played really well on defense for most of the season. Give you a lot of problems. They play really hard, really good players. They got back on track offensively, versus really good Georgia defense. So, we're going to have our hands full. And, they kind of got turned around. Looked like they weren't playing great the few games before that, especially offensively. And they got it turned around and, beat some drop 8, which I think had been, their issues lately. So, and even without all that, it wouldn't have mattered because rivalry games, you never know what's going to happen.
So that's Kiffin. Now, everybody wake up. Everybody hey, wake up, everybody.
He is kind of mellow.
Shake off the...
kind of mellow.
He's cool, calm, collected. Leach, on the other hand, was asked about his relationship with Kiffin. He talked about the fact that he likes him. He said, I think I met him through his dad. His dad's famous coach, Monty Kiffin. And then he went on this little diatribe about how they go to these coaches' clinics over the years and they're always supposed to pretend that they're interesting. That was his words. Oh. He said, and he said, I like Lane because he usually figures out a way to make it not boring. And so he kind of complimented him. Now, Stephen on the live stream says this, Annabeth, do you care about the Vicksburg versus Warren Central rivalry as much as Annabeth does? He's asking me.
Oh, is that Augustinelli?
That's Augustinelli. So, Stephen.
Hey, Stephen.
You say that very well. I know a lot of people that, like Jake, he would just go Agonelli.
Agonelli? Yeah.
I grew up with Stephen. I always thought his name was cool, Augustinelli.
Yeah, we have a history. That's it. See,
Augustinelli.
We both have a history with Augustinelli. They're coming out of quarantine. Today's their last day in quarantine.
Oh, I'm glad that they're doing better. I hope they are.
Well,
I don't know. You weren't part of that rivalry. It's different for me because I grew up a Vicksburg Gator. Yeah. And now,
I'm a Warren Central guy because
Rob,
of the Morgans.
We're Warren Central folks, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're Warren Central folks now.
Well, I kind of like, back to Kiffin, I think he's so calm.
Isn't
he?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Hey, Lane, your car is on fire currently in the parking lot.
Well, okay.
Well, I guess maybe I left the... I think I may have left.
I sent you a little gif about Kiffin, but I think he would be more of a dude. Yeah. Where's my car?
Do you agree that these are two pretty big names for the Egg Bowl?
Oh yeah,
two of the biggest coaching names at the same time at both schools for the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, and again, we get people out here writing lazy articles about how quote unquote nasty and ugly the Egg Bowl rivalry is as compared to others, which couldn't be further from the truth.
No, exactly.
2 years ago, 2018 in Oxford, they said there's a brawl. They had a brawl. Hey, it wasn't a brawl. They all have pads on, no punches thrown. They're all pushing and shoving. 3 guys run off the bench and they call it a brawl. I've seen brawls. That ain't a brawl.
Yeah, there was one when you were there, right? Or was that after you?
Well, it was closer to a brawl. That was the pregame 97. But the thing is, again, everybody's got pads on. And they called it a brawl, and it involved literally a grand total of about 10 players, 5 on our side and 5 on their side. They all blow it way out of proportion. I don't know why they have to do that.
Are most of those people that are writing all that stuff in-state media folks or out of state trying to just stir it up?
Most out of state.
Yeah, they don't have a clue.
Out of state.
They don't have a clue.
Well, it's kind of like Dan Mullen says. He got arrested for inciting a peaceful riot.
Yeah. Well, he didn't get arrested. He got fined though. Grumpy Country Pleasing text line says, Matt and JB, wishing you and your families a great Thanksgiving.
Hey.
Miss Grumpy and I have been doing some traveling to our granddaughter's basketball games yesterday and today. Talk to you next week. Hail State. God bless America. And that's from Grumpy. And he's got a turkey emoji, a basketball emoji, and an American flag emoji. Grumpy, wanted to get that in there before you get out of range. Be careful driving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So you think it's going to be pretty even?
I see.
We haven't even talked about this, so this is the first time I've asked you about it.
I see a very competitive ball game. Yeah.
So it'll be good.
Here's a problem with that, though, and our listeners know this. Last week, going into the Georgia game, I mentioned several times about how it wasn't going to be close and about how we knew the outcome before we even go over there. And lo and behold, State almost pulled it off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're listening to my
Crazier things have
predictions on this
happened.
stuff.
Well, it's 2020. You never know.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. If there was ever a year that you might as well expect the unexpected.
Absolutely.
Okay, Anthony, I don't know what this is, Anthony, but he texted the show and he said, Homecoming Queen, did you get the duck that I gave Matt to give to you? And that's from Anthony. And I'm not sure what we're talking about, Anthony. I don't have a...
The duck?
Are we talking about a fake duck, a real duck, a toy duck, a
Hey,
rubber
was it
duck?
the Aflac duck one time?
Yeah, I
that
guess
would
that's
be
what it
it.
was.
From somewhere? Like, were you
Yeah.
at Davini or you were
Yeah,
somewhere?
maybe that's what it was.
Somebody
I don't
had
know.
a... Yeah.
Okay, Anthony.
I think Anthony is affiliated with Aflac, so you
Okay.
come up with 3 more A's for me.
Maybe you were at Davini for a... I don't know
Maybe
what it was.
that's what it was. Well, she remembers. There you go, Anthony. I didn't remember, and she does. Imagine that.
That's why you married me. I do the remembering.
And do the thinking.
You remember the stats, and I remember everything else.
That's good. I think.
Yeah.
All right, just getting started with y'all on this Tuesday of Thanksgiving and Egg Week and Rivalry Week and all that jazz in the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired.
Check it out online now at thezone1059.com.
Back with y'all, live in a Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Here we are, it's Egg Bowl week. And so the homecoming queen volunteered to come in and start the show with us today.
Oh, I did? Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Ole Miss 28 to 21.
Okay. A while ago you said 24-21.
Yeah, I went up.
28 to 21.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Homecoming Queen is in the Farm Bureau studio. A couple things. Steven talking about rivalry stuff. He was making a point about, Vicksburg, Warren Central, and I was saying, Egg Bowl. He said the point is that if you grew up around it, you care about it more. So Matt Corral, Elijah Moore would be less involved with the Egg Bowl than a player who maybe grew up in the state of Mississippi.
Right.
And I think that's true.
Right.
For both teams.
And then you've got 2 coaches who are not from here.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
You don't always have a head coach that's from here.
That's
When's
right.
the last time that happened? Freeze?
Billy Brewer. Well, Freeze. No, Freeze.
What about for State?
Yeah, State. I don't know if they
Is Sylvester Cream from here?
You have to go back to, we'll see, and Felker was all the way back to Felker. He's from Tennessee.
Cream's not from Mississippi?
I guess it would have been.
No, he's from Alabama.
It'd have been Coach Tyler, wouldn't it? Yeah.
A little bit of trivia there. You have to figure it out.
Coaches from here. Danny on the live stream says, Matt, your piece on the Enterprise coach was excellent. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It was fantastic. I hope everybody will watch it. The Hometown Heroes, brought to you by Farm Bureau. Look, I got a little plug in. That's what you do, don't you?
I used to do this. I had a little sound effect. It was a bell, like the door, like ding, and every time we would hit, on time and without prompt, would mention the sponsor like we were supposed to. I'd hit
Farm
the
Bureau.
ding. But I've lost the ding here on the.
You've lost your ding?
I lost it here.
Lost your ding. Okay.
On the soundboard. So, but yes,
the story is really good, Matt.
Thank you. For those that don't know what we're talking about, you can check it out on YouTube, on my Facebook page. Also, the links are all over Twitter. Just look for me, Radio Wyatt, and you'll see it. We released it this morning. It's the first one like this, about 25 minutes long. So it's kind of a documentary
little
piece about legendary coach at Enterprise High School, L.J. Davis.
It's really great.
And so I appreciate y'all saying that. And Danny, thank you for watching. You need to go see it if you get an opportunity, because what it is, it's not so much it is the story itself, but it also it points to what I think is more important. The most important thing about sports, really life in general, and that is, what kind of influence do you have on other people?
Right.
And I don't mean influencer like we think about internet stuff. I mean, like, what kind of impact do you actually have on another person's life in a positive way, not in a negative way? Well, you see a coach like that he passed away in 1993, and the people in that community still can't stop talking about it.
That's right.
It's pretty incredible. You don't see that everywhere. So here's what we'll do. The little princess, we got a queen, and the little princess has walked in the studio. Mary Liddy's here.
So she gets the headset.
We're going to switch it off in just a sec, but first I want to take a phone call, and while we switch it up, Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson. Craig on the phone. What's up, Craig?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
What's
Hey,
happening?
Craig.
Well, and
Good. Hey, homecoming queen. And hey, is it Mary Lee? That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, Mary Liddy. She's here.
All right. I have a comment to make.
Okay.
I've already heard your daughter. Okay.
Right.
I'm hearing the homecoming queen really for the first time.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that your daughter and the homecoming queen are much, much better at this than you and Mr. Brady. And I think they ought to take the program over.
They look better, that's for sure, Craig.
Matt and Brazier, I love y'all. You know I do. But, I have to be honest. And, we got to do what's best for the radio airwaves. And I think that's the best choice. So,
well, Craig,
thought I'd just throw that in there.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you wholeheartedly. So, yeah, I think you're right on.
She surprised me, man. She knows a lot about sports. I'm sitting here enjoying it that they're homecoming queen. So y'all have a blessed Christmas, and Christmas. Well, have one of those too. But happy Thanksgiving, and y'all do a great job.
Thanks, Craig. Good to hear from you. Appreciate it. How about that, Mary Liddy? Mr. Craig called in to say that you and your mommy should take over the radio show. What do you think?
I don't know.
All right. I think the thing that I need to talk to you about is it's basically day 2 of vacation from school for you, right? Yesterday was Monday. You didn't have school. Today's you don't have school this week because of Thanksgiving. Or is it day 3 because you didn't go Friday either?
I didn't go Friday either. So it's
how are you enjoying being at home and not going to school?
I like it, but I miss school too. Because I like school.
I'm glad you like school. Not every kid likes school. I'm glad that you do.
And I like to do math. And I like to read.
Yeah. All right, so it's Thanksgiving week though, and that's why you're out. First of all, every Thanksgiving we have the Egg Bowl.
Yes,
the battle for the golden egg. Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. What are your thoughts on the Egg Bowl?
Well, last year I sat in the press box with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this year, well, since of coronavirus, I'm probably not going to sit in the press box.
No,
or
you won't get to go.
Yeah, but I'm still excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it Ole Miss and Mississippi State?
Yes, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Mm-hmm.
I don't really know which one is going to win.
Well, you don't have to know because it's not like you've paid attention to the games and all that kind of stuff this year.
Yeah.
You've been resting on the weekends. All right, so from the Egg Bowl, which in this state, when we celebrate Thanksgiving, the Egg Bowl is always kind of a part of it.
Yes.
And in years past, on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, I've been at the game. But this year, it's on a Saturday, so we get to have Thanksgiving together on Thursday. How excited are you for that?
Excited.
What's your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving?
Turkey and ham and corn.
And Jolly Ranchers.
Turkey and Jolly Ranchers. Turkey and ham and corn. We usually have, turkey and ham. We have a little corn with it. What about dressing and gravy? Do you like dressing?
I like gravy, but I don't like dressing because I don't like ranch and I don't like salad.
She's stuffing, not not dressing on a salad. But the turkey and dressing.
Okay.
All right. What about cranberry?
No.
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 Yesterday was National Eat a Cranberry Day. What about pumpkin pie?
Ew.
Ew. She said ew.
Well.
What about sweet potato pie?
No.
What about sweet potato casserole?
No.
What about turnip greens?
No.
No.
But I do like rice and gravy.
Yeah. We have some rice and gravy.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I like that. So.
Yeah.
And I like cream cheese casserole that has the cream cheese and the sausage in it.
Oh,
but
yeah. Yeah, we use country pleasing sausage and make a little casserole.
Yes.
Make your tongue slap your hat off.
So, yeah, I like
that's
that.
Good. I tell you what else, too. I remember, like, every Thanksgiving, you eat a ton of those little rolls that we make. What are they called? Yeah. Well, we talked about
Schubert rolls.
Sister Schubert rolls. We talked a little bit about she got to go to the Egg Bowl last year. She mentioned sitting in the press box. She didn't get to stay in there in the press box for the whole game, but
I did get to stay in there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Well, and you know, Mommy was reminding me, Mary Liddy, that last year at the Egg Bowl was when you got to walk out on the field with me. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
What was that like?
I don't know. It was just big. It was a big field. I think I have been on a football field before that, but I didn't really remember.
Yeah, you were really small. That was at Tupelo High School. Yeah, last year we walked out on the goal line, and now hold that.
Okay.
We walked out on the goal line, and Uncle Rob was standing there, and I was standing there. And you remember they had you on a camera; you could see yourself on the big video board.
I could see my bow.
Was it loud when we were out there?
I don't remember.
You don't remember too much about it.
No.
That's because she was all zoned in, soaking up the moment.
Well, yeah. When I looked up there, I remember I could only see like half of my forehead and up.
Yeah. Hey, JB, real
Yes,
quick
sir.
before we run out of time, you know I'm proficient with cameras. This
Yes, you
morning, Mary Liddy took over one of my cameras, and we put a lens on it for her, a little Canon DSLR. Put a lens on it. I showed her how to use it, and she immediately started shooting video and taking pictures. I may have a little helper on my hand here.
You have a prodigy.
I know.
There you go.
Yeah.
man.
What were you taking pictures of today, real quick?
Pumpkins, nutcrackers, and trees.
And a couple of cats.
And a dog.
And a dog. All right. Tell everybody happy Thanksgiving, Mary.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. And we're going to have a good week.
Early Thanksgiving.
Early, but we're getting it in while we can.
Yes.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait. No.
Go ahead.
See ya.
See ya. Back after this. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo, where I live, on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' Sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone.
Online transmission is ready, sir.
Live online at thezone1059.com and
keep your radio turned on
to ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
I just realized that my Country Pleasin' hat today is sort of an ode to Georgia. It's black and red. Black on the front, white mesh on the back, and that red hog on there says Country Pleasin' on the back of it. Yeah. Hey, I'm not letting the cat completely out of the bag, but...
could be Arkansas.
Yeah, it could be. They weren't black. Maybe they have, actually.
Yeah. With the pig on it.
I'm not letting the cat completely out of the bag, I don't think, but Jonathan over at Davini Equipment and I have been chit-chatting with an idea. A big buck challenge.
Oh, wow.
And complete with prizes, including trying to see if we can work out a prize package from Country Pleasin' Sausage. Hats and everything. So stay tuned for that. If we get it worked out, details forthcoming. Real quick,
I'll be glad to help him eat the deer.
Yeah, same. Unless it's a big old buck that, it's like the little ones.
Tenderloin in the backstrap.
Yeah, the little ones usually taste better. Quite honestly. Yeah. All right, Jesse, his text, and then I'm coming to the phones here. Jesse texted the show.
He's gone, so you can just relax
and
do your thing. I think he had to run. He said if he got a chance to call back, he was at O'Hare Airport.
Oh, okay. Bill.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, if you're listening, man, I realize you had to split. Hopefully you have safe travels this Thanksgiving week also, so hit us up. Bill was just wanting to know what our plans were for Thanksgiving, and yeah, we're kind of working it out as we speak. Today we're doing a little shifting and twisting and turning, but I think we're going to go see some of Annabeth's family in Vicksburg and then back up for the Egg Bowl in Oxford on Saturday. But in terms of when and where and how, I'm not real sure, but I think it's going to be that, a small get together, nothing big, and then eat a little food and then see who takes home the golden egg on Saturday night. All right, Country Pleasin' text line. Ready Teddy says, happy Thanksgiving, Matt and JB. Matt, I can hear the joy that your daughter brings you when you laugh at things she says. Awesome stuff. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, she hung it. She hung that moon up there. Jesse Ward says, I miss when ESPN had the Egg Bowl on Thursdays and Corso and Herb Street gave pies to the players of the game. Yeah, that was neat. I guess that started back in the 90s, right? When we started playing that thing on Thursday night and Thanksgiving, and that was a good time to start it. You had ranked teams, seems like maybe not both every year, but at least one or the other every year for a while there was ranked teams, good ball games. M in New Mexico says, do you think we are the best defense Ole Miss has faced thus far? Well, yeah, I mean, statistically in some ways they're going to be. They're going to be the best run defense that Ole Miss will have faced, right? Because they didn't play Georgia. I'd have to look it up to see who's where statistically at this point in the year.
Alabama.
Yeah, but Bama's defense has not really, statistically, haven't been great, but they have been getting better. That's one thing I've noticed is, it's almost like, I don't know like how you would put your finger on this, but it's almost like Alabama's offense got off to a normal start. They were ready to go game one, and it took their defense a little while. And JB, Nick Saban commented this week on his coach's show. Somebody I think asked about that and said, why? And his answer had to do with the fact that offensively, like in this COVID environment, offensively you could go out and practice against basically air, nobody on the other side, and still get a lot done.
Yeah.
But at practice, defense, you can't do anything against air. And so I think he was alluding to that the early portion of practices for their defense and playing some new players. That's the thing about Alabama's defense. They're always kind of replacing guys that left in their third year and playing a few freshmen and that kind of thing, that maybe they're starting to get a little better. They were, and for the most part this year, Alabama's given up some yards. They've just gotten better here in recent weeks. All right, so they are the number one scoring defense, 19 a game. Rushing defense, they're fourth. Rushing defense, 1 Georgia, 2 A&M, 3 Mississippi State. Pass defense, Kentucky is 1, Auburn 2, Bama 3. Mississippi State is 8, just below the halfway mark in terms of statistically what they give up in yardage per ball game. The thing about that is, though, you look at it and you go, oh, boy, Kentucky's number 1 and Mississippi State's number 8 in pass defense. Yeah, but look at it, what it's telling you. Kentucky averages giving up 222 passing yards a game. Well, Mississippi State averages giving up 256 passing yards a game. It's a difference between number 1 and number 8. It's a difference of 30 yards passing a game. What is that? 2 completions, So it's not huge. If you go total defense right now in the SEC, A&M 1, they played 6 games, and then Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi State, 2, 3, and 4. So if you just went statistically kind of where we are at this point in the year too, and the fact that Alabama's defense is getting better, I think you probably, would point out that they're up there. It's one of the better defenses Ole Miss will have faced, but they've played some pretty good ones. Whether or not they're the best, I don't know. And a lot of states' stats that play into these yearly stats go back to a time when State was playing everybody they had, unlike last week, right? They had a bunch of guys out. So I think that's something you have to take a look at also. All right, Bill is back. He's running around Chicago O'Hare Airport on the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Bill, thanks for calling. What's up?
Hi there, Matt. How you doing? I said I'm ready for the playoffs. We're going to come down to McGee. We're going to try to watch my father. He went to McGee High School, so we're going to try to watch McGee play Columbia.
That boy. Well, McGee looks like they are red hot. They kind of remind me of the '85 Bears.
Well, Matt, nothing's like the '85 Bears. Mike Ditka is the most holiest of all the Bears fanatics out there. I can tell you this right now. It's going to be a pretty good game. But another thing, what's your Thanksgiving spread going to be like over there?
That's a good question. I might, if I could do an impression of John Madden, I would talk about turducken. But I don't know that anybody in my family actually knows how to make a turducken. So that would be unrealistic. I think it's just going to be turkey and, the old tried and true turkey and dressing, gravy. We'll have probably 2 different vegetables, and the dessert will be somewhere in the neighborhood of either pecan pie or pumpkin, one or the other.
I think that pecan pie sounds pretty good. We're going to have our Thanksgiving down here.
Attaboy.
So hopefully we'll get some good food.
Attaboy.
And we'll make some deposits too.
Safe travels, Bill. Thanks for the call.
You have a good time, Matt. May the almighty Mike Ditka watch over you, Matt.
See you, Bill. The almighty Mike Ditka. Brian on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776, says, I think the game is very close through the third quarter, and I think the Ole Miss offense becomes too much in the fourth, 48-34, hotty toddy. You know what, Brian? I mean, absolutely, you could see that scenario, right? Like, if State goes in there and plays well and hangs in there, fight, and Ole Miss is going to have a little more depth and going to get to play a few more guys. And for Georgia, I think it helped them in the fourth quarter last week. And maybe that helps Ole Miss this week. But I'll tell you this, if we get a 48-34 type of shootout, one way or the other, whoever wins or loses, it's still going to be a fun game to watch. No doubt. Points totals. What has State given up this year? Okay. All right. Look, it's almost rhetorical while I pause here and stall to pull up the scores. Okay. That's what I did.
You might just need an abacus.
Yeah. I'm not asking everybody to go look it up for me on that because and that I appreciate. Y'all can always tell when I genuinely am asking for help. Like I need certain information. Y'all can tell. That's one where I'm just stalling while I get the scores and stuff pulled up this year for State. So we got a prediction for 48, which, again, I think you're facing one of, if not the best offense you will have faced all year long. At State, 2-win team, 2-5. Let's see, State gave up 34 to LSU in the opener, gave up 21 to Arkansas, 24 to Kentucky, 28 to A&M, 41 to Alabama, 17 to Vanderbilt, and then 31 to Georgia. So statistically pretty good. But in terms of points totals, they've given up some points. You go back to the Arkansas, Kentucky, A&M, Alabama stretch, certainly those first 3, that's a deal where, some of those points are on the offense, right? Pick sixes and interceptions near the end zone that set the other team up on the 5, So for a few of those low-scoring wins or losses, maybe it's a little bit misleading. But, 41 to Alabama and then 31 last week to Georgia. So, this we know. Ole Miss, as good as State's defense has been, it's just hard to imagine their defense going in there and holding Ole Miss under 30 points. Probably hard to imagine them holding them under 35 or so. So, yeah, Brian, I think that's one I could see very easily happening. A 48-34 type of shootout. That'd be awesome. All right, hour 2 coming up. What did they say? We'll do that next.
One of the great things.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Wyatt Show. Live in the studio. Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, here we go. Hour 2 of the show. Rolling along. Just getting it started here in hour number 2 in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. I think I will hit this button, start this hour off right, and pour a cup of coffee, huh?
25 seconds left to play.
You're listening to the Matt Wyatt Show. I want winners.
This crowd is alive.
You play to win the game.
Wyatt from the shotgun, 2 backs alongside.
Knock him out, John.
Wyatt gets the ball.
It won't be long.
Wyatt back to throw. Wyatt looks, fires toward the end zone. Passes, caught for touchdown by Matthew Butler.
Speak to the Matt Wyatt Show. He's Radio Wyatt.
Well, how am I going to go to college? I'll just play football.
All right. A little Jack, a little Jerry. And now it's time to go. Here we go, hour 2. Y'all text, y'all call, comment on the live stream, however you want to be a part of the show. Lots of ways for you to do it. And I hope you will on this Tuesday. I'm Matt. JB is here. Really appreciate y'all tuning in, however, wherever. So text me. It's 885-3776, 601 number, 885-3776. Call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Highway 51 Madison, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. That's Davini Equipment. Here's the number to call me, 995-1059, 601 number, 995-1059. Give me a call. Hit us up on the live stream also. If you're watching, tuning in, say what's up. Love to hear from you today. A couple of things on the text line from hour 1. Didn't quite get to it. Jonathan was talking about some clips that we played. I think we'll hear those again now. Okay, so there's some more here that I have for you. Egg Bowl talk from Ole Miss and State. This happened yesterday. A couple of clips that I want you to hear. First up, though, Matt Corral, quarterback, Ole Miss, regarding the Egg Bowl.
I mean, just the long tradition behind it. Nothing's really personal at all. You know, it's just another game. You know, of course, the next game's the most important game. So we're gonna attempt to get ready like so.
Just another game. Elijah Moore, Corral from California, Elijah Moore from Florida. He's our best player. He's big time. He's big time good. He's big time good. Here's what he said about it.
I'm gonna be real. To me, it's just another game. I don't really get too high. I don't get too low. But in this school, you know, its history is, you know, it's the biggest game. If anybody wants you to win that any game of the season, it has to be this one. But I really just look at it as it's just any other game. You know, the way you attack every game, or the way you attack something, is how you attack everything. So I try to attack every game full speed, you know, most energy and everything. But, you know, of course, being in, you know, at Ole Miss and in, you know, our locker room and in our meetings, they're going to hype it up because, you know, it's the tradition. So I'm going to play hard for my teammates and play hard for my coaches.
So, you know, two guys, they're both originally from out of state, but saying, you know, you basically treat it like any other game. All right. So this is what Jonathan texted us. He said, you played 2 clips, one from a guy that got in a fight in the end zone and another from the player that got a personal foul for, well, we all know last year. He goes, those are 2 clips that are straight coach talk. Quote, when they ask you, you say this. Y'all agree with that?
Absolutely, I agree with it. And I would say the same thing if it was coming from the mouth of a bulldog.
Yeah.
This is not just another game. It's not. It's the Egg Bowl. And no matter what they say to the press, I think they're probably just trying to keep it down because those 2 guys are the catalyst for their offense, right?
Yeah.
Best 2 players on that side. Yeah, so they don't need to be providing any bulletin board material, so they're just going to keep their mouth and hopefully let their play determine the outcome on the field.
Bo texted us. He said the greatest part of the Matt Corral interview yesterday was the last 3 to 4 minutes where he explained that last drive on the Egg Bowl last year, he essentially checked all the plays that were called. In other words, he's checking off. Seems as though Matt had already decided he was transferring, couldn't care less if he got in trouble for it. Well, and heck, it worked out, right? Like big, huge completions down the field. He hit them. Yeah. So I'll have to go back and listen for that. I didn't hear it. All right. Over to Mike Leach. I mentioned this one earlier. He was asked about Lane Kiffin, his relationship / friendship with Lane Kiffin.
Just really the thing is I guess we both knew Monty. Lane knew Monty Kiffin first, and then I met Monty, and Monty introduced me and Lane. So I guess we're both mutual friends with Monty, and that kind of brought us together. And then, just over the years, seeing him around coaching, spending time with him. I mean, he's an enjoyable guy, and the most. The worst thing, especially in this day and age and in coaching or life or any time that you're doing something as repetitious as football, you try to avoid as many boring people as you can, and Lane's not boring, so I feel I've always been excited to spend time with him. If you're stuck at one of these coaches meeting things that everybody pretends are so important, Lane lightens it up a little bit, and I for one are happy he's there. So
he has a way with words.
He is iconic.
Yeah.
With the way he talks, almost like John Madden.
Yeah.
We're friends of Monty.
Yeah. Lane knew him first. Well, of course, it was his dad. And then I met Monty. I thought it's interesting how he words things. Yeah.
At least you don't have to go to Washington State to get that clip.
That's exactly right. It's local this year.
Just right down the road from you.
That's exactly right.
I think you need to get him a country pleasing hat.
I
bet he would wear it to a press conference.
Well, and I know he would eat the food. I know he would do that. Here's Mike Leach on the Egg Bowl itself.
Just over the years, even as I was a kid, I know it was always an incredibly intense game. I know it's very meaningful to people, and I know that it's in conversation, all year round, every day. There's not a day I don't hear somebody mention the Egg Bowl. So I know it's a very meaningful game, and I also know that there's been plenty of them that were exciting to watch long before I was ever even in the state of Mississippi. So, no, it's exciting to be a part of it, and it's a great opportunity to have the chance to play in one.
So there you go. There's little Mike Leach. Let's go back over here on the other side. All right. We all know what happened last year. In fact, Caleb commented on the live stream yesterday and requested the clip, and we played it for him after the Elijah Moore celebration deal.
This is a 35-yarder. Snap is down. Kick is away. I think he missed it. He missed it. He missed it. He missed it wide right. Elijah Moore, there are flags everywhere because the whole state team has run on the field.
Yeah, so you had the missed extra point. It made it a 21-20. That's the only way this way State held on to win. But the extra point backed up because Elijah Moore did what he did, hiked his leg in the end zone, got the personal foul after scoring, and it kind of became world famous, a world famous goof. And you go, it might be pretty tough on a college age kid to go through that and become world famous for something that's, the wrong reason to become world famous. Well, in the press conference yesterday, Elijah Moore was asked about that, looking back at it.
I never thought to transfer. I'm not that type of kid. I don't just, fall out when things get tough. So that never really crossed my mind. I just know, I'm human. I'm going to make a mistake. And it's really just what you learn from it. Everything's a lesson. And that's what I did. I learned from it, let my team down, and I just know it won't happen again.
So it was a heck of a way to end his season a year ago, right, for Elijah Moore. A heck of a way to end it. World famous for all the wrong reasons. Embarrassment. People on the internet, Twitter, we're all pointing and laughing and snickering, right? Calling them out, showing the replay a million times, and there he is, hiking his leg, cost his team 15 yards, who subsequently then lose the game with a missed kick. All those kinds of things. So once you're in that moment, now I want you to think about your life, okay? Once you are in that moment, not the same thing. You didn't play any egg ball and hike your leg in the end zone. I'm just saying something in your life that all of a sudden it landed and it was embarrassing and it was not fun. It could be anything. Once it's happened, then what? Once it's happened, once all the people around you are laughing and pointing and snickering or talking about you behind your back or names or memes or whatever, once that happens, how do you respond? Then what? We heard him say, no, I wasn't going to transfer. You just, what? Do you let it get the best of you, or do you decide, no, I'm going to get the best of this? Elijah Moore, same kid who did it, leads the SEC in receptions per game. He's just a junior. Leads the SEC in receptions per game. He is the only SEC receiver with over 1,000 yards receiving already. He leads the SEC in receiving yards per game. The same kid who ended his year last year embarrassed with his picture all over the internet hiking his leg, a bad decision. Really poor decision. He's come back and he leads the SEC in every major receiving category. Number 1, receptions per game. Number 1, receiving yards per game. 150. A ball game. The next closest guy is Devontae Smith of Alabama, who'll be a first rounder who's 30 yards behind him a game. He leads the SEC in all-purpose yardage. My hat's off to Elijah Moore. He's come back and got the best of it to this point. Here's his coach yesterday, Lane Kiffin.
Well, he's a great player, first off, but, he prepares really well. Very smart player, so, a lot of players wouldn't be able to line up outside, inside, and in the backfield all in the first series of the game. So, he's a true professional.
There you go. All right, and last thing in terms of sound bites, things I want you to hear, and then I'm coming to your comments. We were talking about where Mississippi State is defensively at this point after giving up 31 to Georgia. So we're talking about stats here, okay? Scoring defense, they are 6th in the SEC, giving up 28 a game, just behind Kentucky and A&M. Alabama's number 1, Georgia 2. Total defense, they are 4th in the SEC, just behind A&M, Georgia, Alabama. Pass defense, they are 8th. That's one thing I'm looking at is it's really tightly bunched together. Unlike these other defensive categories, the pass defense category is really tightly bunched. You only have one SEC defense giving up over 300 passing yards a game. Only one, and that's LSU. So everybody else, we talk about how bad Ole Miss's defense has been. It's primarily against the run, because against the air attack, Ole Miss is 13th in the SEC, giving up 292 passing yards a game. Well, Kentucky's number 1 at 222. You're talking about a difference of 70 yards between the first team in pass defense and the 13th team. It's really tightly bunched. So, again, statistically, we've seen State's defense keep them in games, even in a stretch there of losses where the offense was just handing points. A pick 6 here and a pick 6 there and 6 interceptions here and 4 there. And the defense still was keeping them in some ball games. So, defense has been pretty good all year. Nobody really debates that. Here's Matt Corral, quarterback Ole Miss, talking about the defense he's going to face on Saturday.
I thought they played at a high level. They were, it looked like one team was very excited to play, starting off hot and then stayed hot. And it was obviously it was State's defense that did a heck of a job to stop Georgia's great run game.
So there you go. There are your sound bites, a few of them anyway, coming out of yesterday's press gatherings. State players, I think, are made available to the media today And so we will.
They've canceled that. I just saw a tweet about that.
Really? So they
yes,
canceled,
they canceled it. Yeah, the only thing that they'll do prior to the game on Saturday is Leach will be sitting on that SEC teleconference.
Okay.
But they are not making players available anymore.
I wonder what that's all about. Could be nothing. Could be something. I don't know. I'll see what I can find out. Appreciate the heads up because I did not see that.
Yeah, I just saw that about 15 minutes ago.
Okay. From the Gillis family and Brandon, who texted us and said, "Go Dogs." It said, "Enjoy, guys. You can't go wrong with turkey, duck, and chicken. Turducken." And there's a cartoon of on the farm of a turkey talking to the duck, talking to the chicken. And the quote is, "Nobody's safe. She's making turducken." I don't think I've ever had turducken, but we've talked enough about it that I kind of want some. BB says, quote here, BB on the Country Pleasing text line says, "Y'all aren't that important, Matt. We're looking to curb stomp LSU." Okay. I think you probably will, but you never know. Is Ole Miss going to get to play LSU, though, is what we're looking at here? Because as we talk about it, BB, you're talking about who's important and who's not. I don't know if you realize this or not, but there's literally among SEC media, people who cover the league and the teams, there's been no talk at all about moving State and Ole Miss or moving the LSU and Ole Miss game. All the talk has been figuring out a way to just basically bounce the Ole Miss LSU game and figure out a way for LSU to play Alabama next week. So I think it's kind of ironic. You're picking at me about who's important, who's not, and everybody around the league behind closed doors is talking about a way to just, they're like, look, Ole Miss LSU game, just forget it. Maybe they play it later. We've got to play LSU Alabama, though. We may have to schedule that December 5th. So if you're going to talk trash, BB, do your research first. Tyler Durden says, "Matt, can you play Wes Blankenship's Mike Leach Egg Bowl impersonation?" I'll have to find it. I don't have it here on my soundboard, but I'll have to find it. That kid's good, too. He does a great job. I've seen a few of the things. It's been a while, but I've seen some of them. He's good. White Denzel says, "Matt, was that you who let in the woo in that Neil Price call on the missed extra point?" I don't think it was. I don't know where the woo came from. Maybe I did. I don't think I did, though. Seems like I would remember if I was the one who wooed. It could have been Jay now, no doubt.
Well, that's what you said yesterday, because I audibly heard that. I guess.
All right, let's listen to it again.
Way, yeah.
Because a lot of times Jay, will turn his mic on in the sideline, and man, Jay's awesome. Jay's one of the best sideline reporters on home radio crews that you will find anywhere. Jay Perry does a phenomenal job, and he gets into it. It might have been
Logan
him.
has missed 2 extra
might have been me. I don't know.
Year. This is a 35-yarder. Snap is down. Kick is away. I think he missed it. He missed it. He missed it. He missed it wide right. Elijah Moore, there are flags everywhere because the whole state team has run on the field.
Neil, there are flags everywhere because the whole state team ran on the field. Tell him, Neil, I don't know who wooed. I don't know that there's a way to prove it. They have
a lot like you to me.
Let me see if I can do it. You ready? Woo! Was that me? Was it me?
That's you. Yeah, that's you. Because you know why I know it's you?
How's that?
Because you have, what did Roger call you? You have excellent mic
technique. Technique.
That's it. Because you didn't go woo right into the mic. You leaned back.
Well, but we're wearing headsets.
Right.
So, I can't lean away from my own headset is the thing.
Well, I can see you raising
the bar there.
Yeah, taking it off your head.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Maybe
I wasn't there. But it sure does sound like Matt Wyatt going,
well, yeah, it might have been me. Yeah, maybe it was me. I hate to do something like that and then pass it off on Jay. Like if I do it, I want credit.
Unless it gets you in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
No, that wasn't me.
It's Jay. Blame it on him. You can't fire him. The 13 Egg Bowl, the DAC game, and it went to overtime, and then Bo Wallace fumbled in the end zone and it was recovered, by the defense. Jim Ellis was calling. I was all on top of him. I think that was even that was my second or third year doing it. And you get excited and you talk on top of the play-by-play guy. I hardly ever do that now because I know I'm not supposed to. But in that one, he's calling the play, and all you hear is me go, fumble! And then I go, ball game! And I should not have done that. Don't do that. Even though it's funny, don't do it. Ready Teddy said, we all wish we could bounce back from our large mistakes the way Elijah Moore has. I know, right? Go from GOAT to hero in a matter of months. We all wish. But I will tell you, when you find yourself in that GOAT moment, the only way is to just grin and bear it and swallow it and just wade on ahead. All right, coming up next, let's see what Jason and Pat and Patrick and Tyler and Eric and Anthony all have to say. Cody's over here on the live stream. He was listening to the missed extra point, and he goes, please let it happen again. And Marcus, you're right. I noticed the crowd noise. How cool was that? We didn't know how good we had it with 60,000 people in there yelling and screaming. We'll get that back at some point. It's just a matter of time. All right, here we go. Stick around in the Farm Bureau studio.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence or order it online or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone tour.
To the Matt Wyatt Show.
All right, let's see where the Country Pleasin' text line takes us, shall we? Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. It is the best sausage you ever put in your mouth. I finished my package of black pepper and cheese this morning. I ate the last bite of it this morning for breakfast. So I moved from the freezer to the refrigerator so it'll thaw out overnight. A new package of 3 cheese that I was bragging on a couple of weeks ago.
Well, those two are unlocatable.
Yeah, can't find them.
Not in the metro area, man. I went to, I told you last Friday I was going to get out and get some myself. I was coming in this weekend and went everywhere. And I just had to settle for a couple things of jalapeno and cheese, which is a win-win still.
It's a win-win.
But
I can just picture you driving from store to store looking for...
I went to 4 different Krogers. And 2 of them, I left my mask in my car. So by the time I got to the door, I went, I had to go back and get my mask.
Next time, just add all those miles up and just drive straight to Florence and go in Country Meat Packers and make one trip out of it.
Wow, you sound just like my wife.
All right, Jason and
She
Flagstaff.
said the same thing.
She said, well, maybe we're right.
Probably so.
Jason in Flagstaff is on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776, 885-3776, 601 number. He says, LOL, just another game from Elijah Moore is rich. The imaginary fire hydrant in the back of State's end zone would like an apology. He said, considering everything that happened after that moment, pretend peeing in the end zone may have been the best decision he ever made. He isn't the most productive wide receiver in the SEC with Matt Luke and Rich Rodriguez. He may have saved Ole Miss football. Well, they upgraded. There ain't no question about that. They upgraded. Pat texts the show, says, request for formal investigation into who wooed. Well, I was the one who could repeat it here on the radio. Woo! And so we think it was me. Patrick texts us. He says, Will Rogers mentally will be ready because he was a quarterback in the biggest rivalry high school game in the state, Pearl versus Brandon. Thousands of thousands would show up. He says Rogers will throw for 325 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's a pretty big prediction right there, sir. And there it is. All right. Tyler, I got your link. I'll try to get to work on that. Eric says Matt's dynamite drop-in is typically, wow. But that sure sounds like Matt with the woo. Woo! Where is my dynamite drop-in money sound clip? I'm ashamed, Eric, and embarrassed that I have not already, I had not read ahead.
Not a very good wahoo moment for you.
Where is it? I know I have it. I know I have it here, and it's driving me crazy. Shoot. I'll just keep scrolling until I find it. Where is it? I know I have it. Dynamite drop-in Monty.
All those words of broadcasting school paid off.
That broadcast school really paid off.
I mean, just
no, that's not it. Well, Flitter, I'll find it later on. Anthony said, "Tell them trash talking punks, Mr. Wyatt." Boom. Yeah, see, that's my thing. I mean, I should probably put out a warning. Is I am not good at trash talking. Never have been.
I thought they played it.
Do what?
I said Dabo Sweeney is.
Well,
he's
and
facing
see,
some huge backlash over all this stuff. Man.
Yeah, but he's just telling the truth.
I'm not throwing stones. I live in a glass house. I 100% agree.
Yeah,
and
I
I
agree
think
with
it's
that
what
too.
most of America thinks. But he's. I read an article during the break. Mike Bianchi, boy, he pin whipped him, or maybe as they say, computer whipped him.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
sad.
Bianchi for you.
Yes, that's correct.
There's never been another guy in sports media that tried harder to get attention than Bianchi does.
He does it, doesn't he?
Yeah. Gator Nation says, "Screw the NFL, go Gators." TB12 GOAT. Man.
That's bad when your former kicker kicks one to win the game over you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and and your TB12 GOAT starting to look like he's got some
broken ribs,
holes in the armor, so to speak, right?
They call them chinks in the armor.
Chinks in the armor. What did he throw last night? So it was a close game, 27-24. Rams win last night, but I know I saw one interception. He threw two.
Yeah, he was pretty good in the first half. Did pretty well. I thought Goff played very, very well. But in the second half, boy, TB12 was horrendous.
Yeah,
horrendous.
That last interception there at the end of the game, somebody put it on Twitter this morning. I'm watching it. They put it on Twitter this morning and said, "Look at this overthrow from Brady." And I'm looking at it going, well, as much as an overthrow, it's really the decision. The decision is what got him, to throw it up there in the first place. You look at it, they rotated out of two high safeties pre-snap and then rotated one down, one back. So now they're dropping three with a safety in the middle of the field, bringing one up. Well, they have four verticals in the route. So he's got one guy running up the left hash, another guy running up vertical up the right hash with a safety in the middle of the field between them. And as a quarterback, that's what you want. Okay, if we're trying to throw a hash vertical, I got two of them. I got one safety. He can't cover both of them. If we get behind either one, I got to find him and move the safety with my head or hold him there and get it in there. Well, he didn't hold him or anything. He just looked up the right hash, threw it up the right hash. And I think they're going, oh, it's an overthrow. Well, if you look, his tight end running up the right hash started to slow down when he pulls up because he knows the safety's running over the top of me. Yeah. I'm not going to keep running into a safety that's coming over here. So when he turned, he's pulling up, never expecting the ball to be thrown. Even if the ball had been thrown right at the receiver on that hash, the safety is going to come over and blow him up and either pick it or knock it out. So it was
very similar to the same sort of situation the night before when the Raiders scored and Mahomes says a minute 46 to get him in the end zone.
Yeah.
Or a field goal to tie for overtime. Same kind of route. He looks off that safety.
Right.
Kelsey goes post, wide open. Mahomes throws it in there.
Throws it in there, moving those guys around.
Brady did not look it off. Matter of fact, he stared down that particular guy running that right hash the whole play.
The whole
and
time.
He knew it when he let the ball go. They showed the replay and looked back at him.
Yeah.
And he had already been over and put his head down like, man, what an idiot I am on that play.
Yeah. So it wasn't, the throw. They're like, overthrow. Well, look, hold on now. This ain't about an overthrow. This is about the decision to throw it there in the first place. Chris, Country Please and Text, says those are only sold in the butcher shop at Country Meat Packers, unfortunately. Okay, so black pepper and cheese, 3 cheese, Country Please and sausage. Go there, get it. It's worth it. Y'all heard it from me. And
I
as
could
soon
have
as
gone there 3 times Friday.
You could have. Or Rebel Rex says, could be bad weather for the Egg Bowl, but I think Corral and Moore want to take the bad taste from last year's game make it go away. He says, I like them in Oxford. Rebels 48-17. That would be a blowout, sure enough. The homecoming queen earlier in the show, she picked Ole Miss 28-21. I think at the end of hour 3 today, because this is our last day on the air this week, we're starting Thanksgiving tomorrow, Thanksgiving holiday. And so at the end of today's show, I'll pick it. I think I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to pick State in an upset. But the score, we'll look at the score. Eric says he was trying to tee me up for the Dynamite Monty soundbite here, and I blew the opportunity. I still have not found it. I don't know where I put this thing. Dynamite drop-in money. That broadcast school really paid off. Louvier says, props to Cam Akers. Scores his first NFL touchdown last night. I saw that on Twitter. I didn't get to see the game, but yep, props to him. It took him a little while to get it this year, but he's been banged up too, hasn't he? I think Cam got banged up at one time or another this year. I tell you, these rookies, it's hard to get through a year. Joe Burrow, man. Of course, Cam's on a much better team than Burrow was. That's a lot of times how it works, isn't it? For those number one quarterbacks, those number one draft picks, go and just slog around on a bad team forever how long. That's kind of what they've been doing there. 3 o'clock kick Saturday in Oxford. So we've gotten a 48-17 prediction from Rebel Rex. We had someone earlier. Who was it? Ready Teddy? Was it Teddy who gave us the prediction, or was it someone else? Someone else gave us a prediction of like 40. What was it? 45 to 34 or something like that. Really high score. Well, I think it was 48-34. 14-point game, but a lot of points for both teams. You do hope, don't you? You do hope that it's not a mud bowl. I've seen that too, predictions that it could rain or whatever. Hey, whatever. It's just what you get this time of year. I played in a mud bowl in Oxford in 96. Speaking of that, I sent that clip out. If y'all heard yesterday, we talked about Sluter's fumble return for touchdown. It's on my Twitter feed. We found the video of it. I'm Radio Wyatt. Y'all go look at it. We were splashing around that whole game. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property.
Now to get back to our little talk.
Right here on the Matt Wyatt Show.
JV, some people have wondered if you could say the term "don't give a crap" on the radio or not. But we know this. Dabo can say it on his show, can't he?
Yes, he can. I'll tell you this. It was not permissible in my home growing up.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that. I am guilty of, when I started doing radio shows, every now and then I would say that. And these people at church, my daughter, we were taking her, to the day school at our local church. This is preschool, long before, she's just a little baby, little toddler. And we had a few parents in our church say, hey, we listened to your show on the way home. And when you say that, we have to tell our kids, you can't say that, even though Mr. Matt said it. Well, anyway, I'm just repeating here.
It's always good to be put up on a pedestal. Not.
What was it Charles Barkley said? I'm not a role model. Yeah. Well, it ain't up to you.
Yeah.
The Clemson Tigers were in Tallahassee on Saturday morning when their game against Florida State was postponed 3 hours before kickoff. Now, more details have emerged about what happened. Florida State medical personnel didn't want to play the game after a Clemson player tested positive for COVID-19 after traveling with the team. On his Monday night radio call-in show, Clemson coach Dabo Swinney was still heated, a little hot under the collar. Mad Dabo. He defended the Clemson medical staff. Quote, Dabo says on his call-in show, the game being postponed is an insult to their medical people. Quote, I don't give a crap what they say. I know what the facts are. Dabo asked about Florida State on the call-in show and gave a 4-minute, 30-second answer. It included Pitt traveled there and had a kid test positive there, and they still played the game. We had no positives yesterday. It's an insult to the credibility of our program. What was it that Dabo said initially, though? What was it? Initially, he said that they just didn't want to play?
Yes. It didn't say so in so many words, but made the, how would you say it, be proper. I don't want to say insinuated, but yeah. He
didn't want to play us.
Louvier would be a good person to ask because lawyers have so many more words in their vocabulary because it's all about the language, right?
All about the language. Okay, here's a quote. Swinney told reporters on his weekly teleconference. He says this, if the standard to play was 0 positive tests, then we would have never had a season. This game got canceled. This game was not canceled because of COVID. COVID was just an excuse to cancel the game. He said, to be honest with you, I don't think it has anything to do with their players. I have no doubt that their players wanted to play and would have played. Same with the coaches. He said, there is no you don't have to decipher anything when Dabo Swinney says this. To me, the Florida State administration forfeited the game.
I don't think you pulled any punches there, do you?
None.
Say what you mean what you say.
Let's see.
Love you. Mean it.
They revealed the positive test. It came from within Clemson's traveling party. Apparently gave Florida State pause about playing the game. Even if it was rescheduled to Sunday or Monday, no makeup date has been set as of this time. But Swinney did not seem too keen on the idea of returning to Tallahassee this season. Quote, if they want to play Clemson, in my opinion, they need to come to Clemson. Or they need to pay for all expenses. Other than that, there's no reason for us to play them. We were there, we were ready, and we met the standard. Now, Norvell,
he had a response too, didn't he there, bud?
A couple of them. He's the Florida State coach. Norvell says he's, quote, absolutely hopeful the Clemson game will be played. He's also excited to see it played in Tallahassee. It ain't happening, coach. They're not coming back to Tallahassee this year. If contributions need to be made financially, he says he'll sign up to make one. Hey, Coach Norvell, you wouldn't have to if you'd have played on Saturday. Norvell, football coaches are not doctors. Some of us might think we are, but there's a reason why those advisors are able to make those decisions from the information that is provided. Let me ask you all a question. Now, be honest. Look, let me ask you all a question. If your son was on a football team, he's healthy, teammates healthy, they all test negative, and the opposing team who has traveled to your place, airplanes, buses, and hotels, has a player in the traveling party that as of the day of the game pops up, positive test. How do you feel about it? Your son's on the host team, they don't have any positives. The visitors have come in here with one, and they've been together on airplanes and buses and hotels now for 48 hours. How do you feel? You okay? I'm not passing judgment one way or the other. I'm just asking a question to make us all think. How do you feel about that? Let's use a work environment. I know this is super duper devil's advocate here. Super duper. But listen, let's look at a work environment. You and your coworkers at your job are, with no choice, you are having to host a party of 4 coming in from your company who works in another state, and they're coming. We realize a lot of stuff is done via Zoom, but they've got to come to your place of employment. 4 people from the same company, they're coming from another state. They went through all the protocols and got tested the day before they traveled yesterday. They're good. No positives. Airplanes, car rides, Ubers, all this. And the day that you're supposed to sit in a meeting room with them, you get word one of them has woken up sick and has tested positive. Are you going to have the meeting? Are you going to continue and have the meeting in the room? Well, I know the answer. You do too. The answer is no. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. So is this different? I guess what I'm saying is, and look, Dabo's making the example that Pitt, apparently, according to him, went to Florida State, had one kid test positive. They went ahead and played the game. Well, then maybe that changes it. You know, if you take out that one player who tested positive, you do your best to figure out the contact tracing. His roommate, not going to dress him out, run him out there. Who else? Everything's still good to go? I don't know. Look, and I know it's in the conference. They got a conference-only schedule, but they've given themselves some room to make it up. I don't know. I guess what I'm driving at here is I'm not sure I'm on the same page with Dabo. I'm really not. There has to be, am I crazy? There has to be some level of understanding that if you're on the road and you got all these guys, we've been traveling together, and one of them pops up on the day of the game positive, that it would give the other team some pause about running their whole football team out here against us. You know, maybe you just got to at least understand that. You may not like it. It may be really just unfair and rough to have to pack everything back up, get on a plane, and go home without playing. But surely there's a little bit of understanding at why they would have some pause over that, right? But Dabo just went, I'm talking about guns a-blazing on Florida State. I just don't really agree with his approach there.
You know, especially the comment he makes when he kind of throws some shade at them by saying they've had 3 coaches in 4 years.
Yeah,
not really what you want to bring up when you're talking about a pandemic, right?
Right. That's the point in this. I mean, it's not like Florida State has ever dealt with something like this before. By the way, Dabo, nobody else has. Beaver's former neighbor Steven on the Country Pleasing text line says, just imagine how insufferable Dabo will be if Alabama swoops him up when Saban retires and we have to listen to this every week.
Well, hopefully we'll still have Kiffin and Leach.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it. Beav's former neighbor Steven, I'm like you, and I am now learning. I've finally gotten to a point where I'm totally comfortable with just not listening to any of that stuff. I want to hear Leach, I listen to Leach. I'll go find it. I hadn't heard a Dabo soundbite until I read one. That's just the way it is.
Can you do that?
Yeah. You know what I mean. Right,
know,
I can't read it and hear it. If I
you
could.
can audibly hear it.
Stick around.
Recently, a new client called me and
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence or order it online or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Right here at home. Streaming to you at thezone1059.com and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
Hour 3 of the show, presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Anything residential in Starkville, if you're moving there personally, you, your family, whatever, and it's going to be a permanent thing. Or maybe you're not house shopping, but you know you're going to go into town and need a condo for 7 football weekends out of the year, or 15 baseball weekends, or basketball, whatever it is. A condo that's yours when you come into town. Anything residential, go to Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Find them online, overstreetproperties.com. Tell Kane I said hello, and he'll get you started. So here we go, starting off hour 3. I got a nice message regarding the Egg Bowl and the fact that it's Egg Bowl week, Thanksgiving. I got a nice comment here on the live stream from my mother-in-law, Debbie. She said, "Man, having you and Rob in our family makes Egg Bowl week so much easier. Best sons-in-law on the planet." Man, either we're great or we got somebody fooled. Well, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. Now, I really appreciate that. Yeah, family, what it's all about. Don't take things too far the week of the Egg Bowl. Don't be like those idiots over in Alabama and shoot each other. It happens. Y'all know it. Don't be killing trees. Tell you, it just tans my hide every year.
When killing trees?
No, I don't care about that one bit. Kill all you want to. They'll grow. Look,
If it wasn't for trees, you wouldn't have nothing for your tanned hide when you know.
Yeah. I just, it's inaccurate. It's misleading. It's not responsible when all these media people, because of a little pushing and shoving every now and then at a ball game, continue every year to write stuff about the Egg Bowl, and they call it nasty and ugly and all this. The nastiest rivalry, the ugliest. It is all a pile of crap. Sorry to use the word again, Dabo, but that's what it is. Okay? It's not accurate. And it's just, again, it's just example after example of our mushy-headed, soft-backboned media that won't just look at things for what they are. They're so affected by perception and clicks. And they'll talk about, the rivalry between Alabama and Auburn. Buddy, I grew up in and around it. Okay? If you want to call something ugly and nasty, you got to use those terms for that one, not this one. A few times players have gotten heated on the field. They're all wearing pads. It ain't a big deal. But this is the nasty, ugly one. No, go one state over. Every single year at Thanksgiving, there is a news story. You will find one this year. Man shot in his front yard over Iron Bowl rivalry. Every single year. It will happen again, unfortunately. But your mushy-headed media pay no attention to that, right? Because the Iron Bowl rivalry is so respectful. Harvey Updike bought poison and poisoned the oak trees in Auburn because he was retaliating because an Auburn fan put a Cam Newton jersey on the Bear Bryant statue. I'm not making any of this up. Yet these mushy-headed doofuses will write articles about this rivalry being the ugliest and the nastiest. It is a big, giant pile of bull that comes every year about this time from the outside media world. Folks, listen. Mississippians, listen. Don't give them the satisfaction of a click. Don't do it. It is horse manure. You run, tell them I said it. You want to prove to them I said it? Show them where the live stream is on the Facebook page. Tell them right about the start of hour 3, Matt must have been talking about you. Because I've got example after example after example of it. It happens every year. You and I know what it's like, person to person. in your Sunday school classes when you show up after the Egg Bowl on Sunday mornings after Thanksgiving. Y'all know what it's like. Yeah, it hurts when you lose and you have to take a joke or two and the other guys celebrate. So what? We all move on and we go hunting together. We work together. We marry each other. Okay? Nobody here has ever pulled a stunt like what Alabama fans and Auburn fans pull every single year in that state. And just because these soft backboned media don't cover it the way they should doesn't make it any less true. Think for yourself. There are two groups of people, y'all. Listen, and then I'm coming to the phone and then I'm done on this rant. But listen and please remember. There are two groups of people who do not want you thinking for yourself. Number one, socialists. And number two, media. All right, Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Jake hanging on the line. What's up, Jake?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I do agree with you on that, Matt. You are the professor. I really looked up to your brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's one thing. I messed around. I couldn't find a hat. I was in Tuscaloosa, and I just grabbed my Gator hat. And guys, let me tell you something. These guys are serious about this stuff. I put my Florida Gator hat on, and I went into the truck stop, and boy, you should have seen the look. It was serious. But guys, we got to understand something. It's just a game.
That's right.
As far as it's just a game. As far as Dabo, he got to understand something that wasn't his quarterback with this same situation like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That he got to understand also, guys. I don't want to make nobody sick.
Yeah.
It could spread to the whole team. I could even catch it. Coach Novus, I could even catch this stuff.
Sure.
It's serious.
Right. Well, and the thing about it is, Jake, it's like, okay, for example, Nate Oates, the new basketball coach at Alabama. I saw a quote. I'm not exactly sure, exactly where it came from, but it was somebody quoting Nate Oates, and he was just pointing out, hey, look, y'all, if we're going to shut entire programs down when we have one positive test, then there's really no point in having a season. We're not going to be able to have a season. What's the point in even trying to? If that's what we're going to do. Okay, that's an indoor sport. But the reason I bring that up, football has put in these procedures across every campus in America, Jake, where if you have one positive test, it doesn't shut down your program. Football decided we're going to go forward. We're an outdoor sport. So when we have a positive test, we're going to isolate that individual. We're going to do the contact tracing and put those contacts in quarantine, but the rest of us are going to go forward and we're going to test every 3 days. Okay? So I guess the reason I bring it up is just like you said, this is all new. And in the case that you have a visiting team like Clemson who's already traveled, and before they traveled, he wasn't positive, and on the day of the game, he was. I don't see how Dabo can sit there and just totally lambaste Florida State for having reservations, right? Because what do we know about positive tests for COVID? Well, sometimes they're false positives. So the Clemson side of it could go, yeah, but it could be a false positive. But Florida State, by the same token, could just as easily say, but we don't know that it's a false positive. And since that positive has been in the locker room and in the hotel and in the meeting rooms and on the buses and on the planes, we're hesitant to run out there right now. So it's one thing to be upset for Dabo and for him to be bothered by the situation. It's another thing to put it on Florida State and basically call them chicken and not wanting to play. I just think that's going too far.
I've heard the rant that he made on ESPN earlier this morning. I thought it was childish. Yeah. I really did. Yeah. And I thought Dabo was kind of, bigger man to understand that, okay, guys, we should have let this guy stay back in Clemson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, they had already traveled. I thought they had already traveled and gotten there, and then he tested positive. At least that's the way I read it. But is that not it?
That looks kind of fishy.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it smells kind of fishy to me. I kind of thought they kind of knew this guy was kind of like this, but they trying to hide it. Then you know, it just feel like it just smelled kind of fishy that all of a sudden you found out the day of the game. You know.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. Yeah. Sorry about the Cincinnati QB. It's so unfortunate, but that's how it is when you go to a team who don't have a offensive line. And I think his agent should be fired because I wouldn't send my all-star quarterback to a team who cannot block for me. I wouldn't go.
Well,
I would not go to a team that cannot block.
It's what you get, when they take that top draft pick, but hopefully it's something he can bounce back from. But I know they said it was shredded. All 3 major ligaments in that knee. That's rough. That's rough.
Oh, man. Hey, appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man. Great to hear from you, Jake. Thanks for the call. Oh, JB, I'm so glad you sent that to me. You talk about put you in the right kind of mood.
Well, I figured that might help out today.
A little camera shot of a snow-covered Notre Dame Stadium, South Bend, Indiana, snow covered with snow falling. Bring that on right there. Hey, speaking of Clemson, hey, Clemson fans, earmuffs, you don't want to hear this?
Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up, the echoes cheering her name. Send the volley cheer on.
That is a beautiful sight. Check it out. He is Dr. Brojo on Twitter, and he also tagged me in it, so it's on my timeline on Twitter. The Fighting Irish sent out a tweet. There's their stadium, Notre Dame Stadium. Snow covered, snow falling. Where's Rudy? We need somebody in a Rudy jersey, number 45. Get a real Notre Dame helmet. Doesn't look like something from Pier 1. Let him run out there for a photo.
And make snow angels.
Yeah, that's right.
While the loyal sons are marching onward to victory. Onward to victory. For Notre Dame.
When it's done right and the harmonies work out, is there anything prettier sounding than the human voice? Get those like the Glee Club at Notre Dame.
I don't think so.
Is that what heaven's going to sound like times a million?
If that lights your fire right now,
yeah,
it'll be there. I think you will be ultimately impressed.
Yeah,
because it's going to be it's like I told some cats earlier today at Live Oaks, man. If what I believe is what I believe, then it's going to be a lot better than here.
Mm-hmm. It might even make me go, woo!
Yeah.
All right. Country, please. And no. The Vinny Equipment phone line, DJ's hanging on. What's up, DJ?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. How you doing today?
Just right, as far as I know. Hope you're doing well.
Doing good. Just want to comment now. My understanding of the Clemson situation, and I thought Dabo handled it terribly, okay? My understanding was the player had symptoms but had not tested positive, okay? But the thing is, the protocol is if you have symptoms, you treat it as if you're positive, and then if you take a test, I've been tested in my job 5 times, and they'll tell you if you test too early, you'll get a negative. Now, I know Nick Saban mysteriously got a false positive, but any doctor will tell you false positives are extremely rare. Negatives, if you have the virus and have not developed to a certain level, the fast test will give you a negative. In fact, the last time I tested, the doctor told me I probably tested too quick. I need to go ahead and take the regular test. So the thing is, Dabo calling out Florida State when Clemson practiced a player that was symptomatic but had a negative test. And the thing is, if you're symptomatic, you're not supposed to practice, even if you've got a negative test, because we all know those fast tests can show a negative and then 2 days later show a positive. So I think Dabo was throwing out a smoke screen, in my opinion, based on what I read, to cover his tracks, because, I realize they've lost games and it's frustrating. But the problem I've had, I've had respiratory tract infections all my adult life. So every time I get a respiratory tract infection, which I've gotten 2, I've got to get tested. And the last time, the doctor said I tested too early. I needed to wait a couple days and take the long test, and I had to wait another 2 days to get it back. And I was negative both times. So, and back to basketball, let's say we go in the opposite direction. You got most rosters of 12 to 15 players, and let's say we want to keep playing with 1 or 2 positive cases. Then, you can tell, now that politics are over, and we know politics is not a part of it, although some people want to make it politicized. We've got a real problem in America right now with COVID. And the thing is, last week in a 6-day period, we had 1 million new cases. Okay? That's not because of the election. That's not because of politics. That is real. And my son-in-law had an asymptomatic 6th grader go home to his primary caregiving grandmother, and she died within 2 weeks. So we have handled it so poorly. And the thing is, I get it. We want to play basketball. I know that. But I don't get how we're going to do it. And I'll be honest, I'm not calling Nick Saban, but if you talk to any medical professional, a positive is typically what they do. There's a fast test, there's a regular test. It takes about 2 days to process. Then there's a blood test, and if you take the blood test, it can show a positive if you had it 6 months ago. So there's 3 different type tests. So, but anyway, hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and thanks for letting me rant a little bit every now and then.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling, DJ. Appreciate you. Yeah, basketball, I don't know. I mean, indoors. Yeah, I don't know how they pull it off. I don't know. And I don't have the answers. I think you're right, DJ, in that there's some way to go forward. I think people have to be able to kind of make their own decisions going forward. Some people will heed some advice and be precautionary, and then some won't. You're always going to have people who will overreact one way or the other. Oh, there's nothing to this. I wouldn't dare wear a mask. I ain't doing anything different. To heck with all of it. Well, that's probably not the best approach. Scared to death, we're all going to die. I'm not leaving the house, and I haven't been outside for 6 months. Well, that probably ain't the best approach either. And, so it's somewhere in the middle. There's some way to move forward with life, while at the same time being as, cautionary as you can be. And trying to protect others. That's kind of my thing is, if you're telling me that in certain situations that, like we've always said, even going back to March, you pop on a mask before you go popping into businesses or other people's houses or around other folks at church. Put on that mask because it's a situation where you could have it and not know it, and it keeps you from spreading it as easily. Stuff coming out of your nose and your mouth, keeps you from spreading it. And I get it. It makes sense to me. That's no big deal. I'll put one on. But under no circumstance am I just going to lock it down. Just not doing it. So I think there's a fine line in there somewhere. It's Thanksgiving week. Possum is on the, I didn't say menu. I did not say possum is on the menu. I said possum is on the Divinity Equipment phone line. What's up, Possum?
I got to share a story with you that I think you'll get a kick out of. I didn't get to call in the other day when you were talking about the chicken wing with the feather on it.
Yes.
Let me just tell you. Our tradition, growing up, I was 26 years old before I had a turkey at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
All the men in the family would show up over at our farm on Thanksgiving morning and have a massive squirrel hunt. Mm-hmm. And there were about 15 of us, all the cousins, all the uncles. We weren't allowed to hunt squirrels before Thanksgiving morning. that being said, the women would go in and have a flour and their milk and their eggs and stuff, whatever it made to make dumplings. And for every Thanksgiving lunch, we had squirrel dumplings for Thanksgiving. And that was about the neatest tradition that I can ever remember. The first time I had a turkey, it was like, what is this? You're not going to make me dumplings? But listen, I had an uncle who was in the March Battalion in the Philippines, and now looking back on it, he passed away a few years ago. But he could skin a squirrel in about 30 seconds. And I realized then, you know, if there was a rat over in the Philippines when he was in that prison over there, I bet there wasn't a rat that could live more than 30 seconds.
Right.
But so every Thanksgiving, I have to reminisce about my uncle that could skin a squirrel in 15 to 20 seconds. And the tradition of squirrel dumplings, because if you didn't grow it or shoot it, you probably didn't eat it in our house.
How about that?
And that's just one of the things. I tell you what, it is. It makes me think every year, every time I see these squirrels in my yard now, oh my gosh, it's like, didn't do it.
Yeah, Possum,
But squirrel dumplings,
I really appreciate that story very much. And I guess, real quick, I got like 20 seconds. I guess you fried the squirrels, or they just went in?
No, they boiled them down, almost
Okay.
like chicken and dumplings. We just boil them down and eat the meat just like they were chicken and dumplings, but
That's
they were
great.
always squirrels.
That's
and
really
they would be
great.
40 or 50 of them in there. It was good.
How
So listen,
about
guys,
that?
I appreciate the show.
Thank
Thoroughly
you.
enjoyed it, and let's go Bulldogs.
Thanks, Possum. Appreciate the call.
All right, man. All right. Bye-bye.
The hunting part of it would be just as fun as the eating part of it. The family tradition of a big squirrel hunt on Thanksgiving Day and then eat them for lunch. I'm there. Tell me where. Stick around.
Soul is a trip. Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Lucy's got a lipstick on a little too bright. Bobby's getting drunk and looking for a fight.
Hal Ketchum.
Trouble on his mind. Well, Lucy's just a kid along for the ride. Got a six-pack of beer and a bottle of wine. Gotta be bad just to have a good time.
Hal Ketchum, country music star, passes away today at 67. Small Town Saturday Night. I remember that one. He was a part of a really an outstanding era of country music. Died today in Nashville. Hal Ketchum, 67 years old, crossing over the river. All right, so y'all text, lots of those to get to, and I'm about to do it. I'm about to do that. Y'all call the Davini Equipment phone line. First up there is our old buddy, old pal. Gator Greg's been hanging on for a while. Greg, what's up?
Hey, it's always good to talk with you, Mr. Wyatt, and especially the first time I talked with you in the third hour. So I had to, wait today, especially. But I was, looking at this Egg Bowl. I look at the games that Ole Miss has lost, where they, when Arkansas and Auburn, where they held them, under looks like 30 points. Mm-hmm. I can see some of the things. I mean, you break down film and such. What are the things that you see they have to do? I remember what the Arkansas game, the turnovers was the big deal. Corral only threw for 200 yards, but he had 6 interceptions. And then the Auburn game, Auburn kind of slowed it down a little bit, where you figure you can keep Ole Miss under 30 points, you got to like your chances. And the way you guys have played defense, I'm talking about Zach Arnett most of the year, that hadn't been the problem. It just, you have the numbers situation now, but tell me what do you got to do to affect that offense, because I would think the Mississippi State way of maybe on offensively attacking Ole Miss, they don't run the ball, but maybe a controlled passing game to keep the Rebels' offense off the field, and maybe you get the run in and dominate the time of possessions. That seemed like that's the way to get a win. I don't know why it's just a foregone conclusion. People just think Ole Miss is going to win. You got to look at it and look at what you can expose, and then we're looking forward to your guy getting Brady on Sunday, Mr. Wyatt. Patrick Mahomes against Tom Brady. Maybe Mahomes can bury the Bucs this year. I'm looking forward to that. You have a good show.
Appreciate it, Greg. Yeah, I don't think the Bucs are completely done, but I think that's going to be one of those signals of the passing of the torch in that ball game. Chiefs will win, and Mahomes will play well. So let's just look real quick, Greg. The Auburn win over Ole Miss, and we know there was a very significant call there, or non-call. We know that. But there's a couple of things about it, okay? Turnovers have been, if I look at the Auburn loss and the Arkansas loss for Ole Miss, you're right. In both of those, they are sub 30 points. They scored 28 against Auburn. They scored 21 against Arkansas. The Alabama loss is sort of kind of like the outlier, or looked that way anyway. But against Auburn, for instance, Matt Corral has a negative touchdown to interception ratio. He throws 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and only threw for 154 yards against Auburn. I don't remember the weather. It seems like it wasn't great. But see, Ole Miss rushed for 283. They almost hit 300 yards rushing against Auburn that day. So, they're not a one-dimensional deal. They didn't throw it very well at all. They turned it over twice. Auburn did not turn it over. The other thing was, yes, Auburn did win the time of possession, but it was pretty close in that regard, okay? Then if you go to the Arkansas deal, that's 6 interceptions in a ball game. I mean, that's why they scored 21 points, and that's why Arkansas won. 7 total turnovers in the game. You don't even hear about that. Get this. Arkansas had 33 points in the game. 27 of them were points off turnovers. So it's hard to, almost like none of their losses have been the same. Now, Arkansas did just have like a 1-minute advantage in time of possession. But in the loss to Arkansas, Ole Miss ran more plays than Arkansas did. In the loss to Auburn, Ole Miss ran more plays than Auburn did. That's what I'm trying to say. Then, you look at the other side of it. What did Auburn do to score 35 points? They were super balanced. 238 in the air, 224 on the ground. Had a 130-yard back in the ballgame. What did Arkansas do? Well, outside of turning it over, I mean, Arkansas's offensive effort was pretty pedestrian against Ole Miss in the game. They had short fields all day. 244 in the air, 150 on the ground. But in spite of all those just kind of vanilla stats that don't really point to anything major in those 2 losses for Ole Miss, Greg, I'm like you. So is, likely that they have an advantage in certain ways. They've got more scholarship players. They've got more experience on their team. They've had less opt-outs. They've had no turnover at quarterback this year. State has. All this kind of stuff. State's playing more sophomores and freshmen, all that. But it's just, look, I'm telling you, it is a game where if State's defense plays well, they'll get off the field some. State's defense this year has been the caliber of an Auburn defense, of an Arkansas defense, of an Alabama defense. And those teams got a few stops when they had to. The question is State's offense. Is State's offense going to go in there and, like you say, what if it is raining? Are they going to control the ball some? Well, teams are letting Georgia let State control the ball some, because Kirby Smart said, we're starting to see it. They're getting a little better historically as well. The more people you rush, the lower your success rate is against that air raid. He says, early in the game there at one point, we jump into a straight up man-to-man, didn't disguise it. What did he do? They hit a man-to-man route. He turned it up the sideline and ran it in from 50 yards out for a touchdown. So we just had to back off. We rushed a little more four-man rush in the second half. Some route matching man-to-man stuff underneath, but still having safeties on top and dropping to try to make them run a lot of plays and make mistakes. As you jump into man, they beat you. Well, that's the key. Does Will Rogers chew them up, spit them out, and do they go in and drop 8? Because if they drop 8 and you have the success rate underneath against the zone, staying on the field the way they did against Georgia, Ole Miss's possessions go down, the number of plays go down, and the game could look different. I don't know what the Ole Miss defensive game plan is going to be. I just know that State's offense determines the game. Whether it's close game and, are they capable? Yeah, they are. Mark on the Davini phone. What's up, Mark? Real quick, got about a minute.
What's going on, Matt?
Yo.
I heard the gentleman call in about having the squirrel dumplings on Thanksgiving. We were supposed, I wish we'd have had those squirrel dumplings. We usually get that picture out of that Family Circle magazine that had the turkey on it and set it on the table so we could all look at it, and it looked real nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we were supposed, when we was growing up, we didn't have a dog on a chain. We had a cat on a chain. I'll tell you that story one day. It's a little in-depth there. But we had a cat on a chain. And just tell everybody to remember one thing.
Okay.
Remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl. Just remember that.
Never forget.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Later.
No, Colonel Sanders. You're wrong.
Can't beat that.
No, Colonel Sanders. You're wrong. Y'all stick around.
Whether it's time to
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime
in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this